Hello and welcome. Let's take a look at async await concurrency in action. Here I have a working wait function. Whatever you pass in as the milliseconds here, the ms, is how long it will take for this promise to resolve. Then I have a message attached at the end here, and it says message received. The first function I have is without concurrency. So we start by having this const find message, which is an async function. It's an arrow function. And we have a const time start, which is the date when the function begins. So when you invoke the function, date.now gets called, and we hold that in time start. Next, we have a const called 1. That's going to equal await, that wait function above, for 2 seconds. And we're going to do this over and over. We'll console log 1 with the response, which will be message received. Then we will have a second one doing the same thing for 2 seconds, and we'll have a console.log of message received. Then we'll do it a third time, and we'll have a console.log of 3, and then message received. At the end, we get a time end, and that equals date.now. And finally, I console log this took the time end minus the time start, and that's how many milliseconds it took for this to run. Now, this should run in about 6 seconds, because we make 3 different awaits, each one of them taking 2 seconds each. Let's run this and find out if I'm right about that. And you can see we have our 3 message received. They took about 2 seconds each, and it took about 6 seconds. Now, let's see the power of concurrency. This makes your code so much quicker and so much better. Let's get right to it. Here's concurrency. We have this const find message concurrently, and it's an async arrow function as well. We have our time start just like we did. This is the big change. We have a const and then an array, 1, 2, and 3. That equals an await of promise.all. This is the important part here, promise.all. We open up promise.all, and let me just get this on the same line real quick so we could look at it. We open up promise.all, and then we open up an array. Within that array, we call wait 3 separate times, and each one of them has a 2-second value in there. So at first glance, you would look at this and think it's going to take 2 seconds, this will take 2 seconds, this will take 2 seconds, so this should also take 6 seconds. Now, what really happens is promise.all will go through this entire array starting each one of the promises. So the event loop will have wait in 2000, wait 2000, wait 2000. It will initiate this first wait 2000 and then add it to the end of the event loop, awaiting a response from the promise. And then it will initiate this one, adding it to the end of the event loop, awaiting a response from this promise. And then finally do it one more time with this one, awaiting the response from this promise. I'm going to bring it back to 2 lines so that we can get it all on the page like so. Now after that, we're doing our same console logging. This should all come back together, and this const time end, we're going to do our console log it took this long, just like we did right up here, the same exact thing. So we could run this function now, and it should take about 2 seconds. Let's do it. And you can see we have all the messages back. I'll bring this up a bit. 1, 2, and 3, they all came back at pretty much exactly the same time, and this took 2 seconds. So this makes your code so much faster than doing the promises separately, like we're doing up here without concurrency. This gives you a little view on how powerful concurrency is and how it's necessary to learn if you're going to be making a lot of calls, as long as they're not dependent on each other. Meaning this needs to be done, this find message function where everything is awaiting and then wait. If the next one was taking, say, the result, it was taking 1 in over here, then we would have to do it this way. We wouldn't be able to do it the concurrent way. But if they are not dependent on each other, you should be working with concurrency. I hope you learned a little bit about concurrency today, and I can't wait to see you on the next one. Please like and subscribe, and keep coding.